Addicted Weirdos channel. It's your Bear Grylls, and we back with another video. It's you know, an obvious one that is dominating the you know, internet sphere, for want of a better word. We got a video from the guy Taylor the Fiend. Taylor, we gonna cover this video right here, obviously because it's one that, you know, is very popular. It's TikTok girls, women complaining about, you know, guys, and you know, instead of just doing the same old, which is, you know, basically what Taylor's doing, we're gonna try something new, right? We're gonna try see it from a different perspective, right? We're gonna try to see it from both perspectives. So we already know what side each person is on, but let's see if we can empathize with both sides and we go from there, right? Let's go.
Nice and breeze. And breeze.
Yeah, so the reason apparently why so many women are struggling
and breeze.
Yeah, so the
behavior, and remember that everyone is out here struggling. These men need to catch up. Okay, don't put that on yourself.
As we said, man, shout out to the guy Taylor the Fiend, man. Taylor the Fiend. Go, yeah, like you said, go subscribe, guys.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with some more agonizing TikToks for you here today from Modern Women. We're going to be kicking off today's episode with this woman who is very pissed off, sitting here recording her TikTok in her car. So guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments, and let's jump right in and see what some of these individuals have to say today.
One major lesson we need to learn from the rise of all the pop princesses this year is that every woman, no matter how successful, how hot, how gorgeous, how smart, is getting fucked over by men. Okay, Sabrina Carpenter has a line.
Yeah, so the reason apparently why so many women are struggling and why so many women are single, right, is because there are no nice men. That's what women want, guys, apparently. They just want the nice man. That's the requirement. That's what all of these women say when they're single. Oh, the reason I'm single is because I haven't found a nice man. Get out of here. This is complete nonsense.
Carpenter has a line in a song. I just want a man who is nice and breeze. Sabrina Carpenter, literally so hot. Can't find a man who is nice and breeze? This means is it's not about your looks, it's not about your personality. You're most likely not the problem. So stop internalizing men's bad behavior and remember that everyone is out here struggling. These men need to catch up. Okay, don't put that on yourself.
Yeah, so the reason why this woman is single, by the way, is because she's a complete psycho. You know what I'm saying? So what are we doing? We're blaming it all on men. Women who have all of the options in the dating market, guys, who hold the majority of the power, especially when you compare it to average men. These women are sitting here complaining that the reason they're single is because they just can't find a nice man. It's totally ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's continue into the next clip here today.
All right, so we're going to say from our point of view, I mean, Taylor, it is what it is. You know, everything you said, we ain't gonna you know, cover or rebut that. What we'll say for the young lady, you know, that is essentially finding it hard right now to, you know, deal with the guys in the dating market. There's been it's very obvious, right, that they have to aim high. Now it depends on how high they're aiming. The question I'll have for, you know, people like Taylor, or you know, people that watch this as well that are seeing her as crazy is, would you not want your daughter to you know, not just bring home somebody, right, that is, you know, of good caliber, you know, good morals and all that, but would you not want somebody that you know that is quality for your daughter, no matter how crazy she acts? Now, people are going to say, I won't raise my daughter that way. Fair enough, right? Fair enough. But at the same time, we all know and understand that there's going to be a lot of, not just women, right, but a lot of people that are irrational, right? They're not logical. These are men and women. Yes, usually men are usually more logical, right? And not as irrational. But in general, human beings, when they're not of sound mind, most, it's just almost, I want to say 90%, if not more, are gonna be saying, stuff, ridiculous stuff, or acting in certain ways, basically. So the question is, would we not want better for our daughters? That's it. Even if they act this way, and that's the question for y'all. I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying she's right. I'm saying if you had a daughter and you knew that, okay, my daughter's acting in a certain way, I know this is not completely her, but this representation is not great, would you still want the best for her, right? Like, and that means, would you still want her to be able to get the best guy she can? Because they all essentially believe that they deserve the best. That's the question I'm giving you. Do you not want your daughter to get the best? Yes or no? Or even if it's not the best, I want to be very clear. Even if it's not the best, would you want your daughter to get somebody of a certain caliber that yeah, this person is going to make sure that my daughter is, being taken care of? That's the question right there, guys. That's it. Let's move on. Kyle, I said Kyle. I don't know where Kyle come from. Taylor, take it away.
This one, I think this woman's some sort of dating coach or something. We have the hand tattoos to begin already. But this is a woman who is a dating coach. So let's see if she has any good advice for the women out there.
If you are in a dating situation right now where you're not exclusive, you haven't defined if you're boyfriend, girlfriend, it's kind of a casual hooking up situationship, maybe dating vibe, that man is not your man. And some of you are acting like that man's your man, and it's not a good look.
What do you mean some women? Like, let's be honest about this, guys. This is what a lot of women are doing. A lot of women are going out there, they're hooking up with dudes that they meet off of dating applications or Instagram, which I would argue are technically one and the same. They go and they meet up with these men and they think that these dudes are their boyfriends and stuff. They think that they genuinely have relationships with these men, which of course that they don't. This is something that a lot of women do, guys. Like, let's not downplay this here.
A man is not your man. And some of you are acting like that man's your man, and it's not a good look. So I'm giving you 4 behavior rules when that man is not your man. Number 1, no texting after 11 p.m. Anything he sends you after 11 p.m., you can respond to the next day. He is not your boyfriend. You do not need to be at his beck and call or available for him 24/7.
Wait, so let me get this straight. This dude is hooking up with you for nothing. He doesn't have to commit to you. He doesn't have to give you a ring. He doesn't have to give you a relationship or anything. And your way of setting boundaries is that you won't talk to him after 11 p.m. You're an absolute genius, madam. Whatever will these men do? Like, let's put this into perspective, guys, okay? These men are having free access to these women's bodies, right? No relationship, no nothing. And this woman is putting in place boundaries like not talking to them after a certain time. You've already gave yourself to this man. These women are out here continuously doing this. This is not some like gotcha moment where like, oh, I'm not going to text him after 11 p.m. That'll really show him that I have boundaries. The guy already knows that you have no boundaries. It's already over for you.
Let that junk call.
All right, so before we continue, I did want to first say that this is I guess this is why there's a lot of tension, right, between both sexes in general, right? It's because first off, when Taylor started, he said, the tats on her hand and so forth, and I can see how women can get triggered by that. Whether he's right or wrong, we're not here to basically say that. We're just saying this is the type of stuff that is not going to be conducive to a productive discussion. Right, so you already doing those judging things won't work. Now, what they're gonna say is, well, we get judged every single time. Women are always judging us constantly. They might not say it might not be outwardly expressed, but it's definitely done, which is fair. Like that's not, and they're gonna have to take that into consideration as well, right? Just how y'all can judge, they gonna judge. You feel me? So that's one thing, right? Now, when the whole thing about, you seeing a guy, whatever, having access and, not texting him or so forth, and this is like a rules of engagement that maybe, if she's right or wrong, who knows? But everybody knows that there is certain formulas to stuff, right? So for example, if someone had told, a guy, you gotta, treat him mean to keep him keen, it's not the greatest way to act, right? It's almost like, for some people, be like, that sounds irrational. But people understand that. People understand why, this is an advice that's given to men. Women say this stuff as well, but mostly you'll find that it usually works for men, right? Treat them mean to keep them keen, right? Again, that's kind of irrational. It's like, what? But it's only because they're going off of, the reactions of the opposite sex. I gotta treat you mean, and for some reason you like that, because why? This is why the whole concept of bad boys exists. So taking that into consideration, make you start realizing, okay, if this is happening on that end, well, they're seeing it as, all right, so I'm not gonna text you at a certain time frame and so forth. And they say a lot that when a man, maybe, meets a girl, whatever, and things are easy, usually when it comes to having access physically, right? If that's easy, that could turn a man off. I'm not saying it would, but it could turn a man off. So when they're, thinking in that sense that, oh, I'm giving up myself, and then that's what happens. Well, in that instance, I've got to always do this. Just trying to tap into the reasons as to why they think the way they think. Oh, don't text him or don't do this. Even though Taylor's already saying he already has access to you. What are you talking about, genius? That's basically what's his words, right? But I'm trying to make it not understandable, but definitely just see, okay, this is why this person is saying this. This may be, not this is why, sorry, but this may be why. This may be why. Saying this, oh, well, I believe they lose access too easily. So even if a man tells them that's not the case, they'll be like, well, I'm experiencing this. Well, then the guy could say, well, you're experiencing all the wrong man. You're experiencing all the wrong men. You're going for a certain type of caliber man. But then we then go back to the fact of, okay, then are you surprised that they're going for these caliber men? They're always going to want the best. That's just how the species are set. That's just how both species are set up. Whether we like it or not, that is what the species set up. Can we blame them for that? Absolutely not. We got to be honest. We cannot blame them for always wanting, I want, that person that, comes across above average. Every single time, the minimum is above average. So the problem they have is that most men will not be above average. Most men are average, and if not even below average. That's what the most are. So this is what's caused an imbalance. Very easy to blame, one another, but we just gotta see each other for what we want, for what it is. Let's just let her take it away. Continue.
Call go to voicemail. Let the late night text go unanswered. Keep him arm's distance on edge because he is not your man. When he's your official boyfriend and committed to you, you can text him all hours of the night.
And you see how it's not completely crazy what she's saying. You see, like, if we try to, again, balance things out, right? It's not completely, because if the problem here is, if she starts doing that, the guy naturally, biologically, just within him, intrinsically might think to himself, I wonder if she does this for other guys. Nah, I'm going to play it cool with this one. Sorry, guys. I'm going to play cool with this one. I'm not going to take it too seriously. You see how it works against her? So although maybe Taylor might be thinking to himself, it's the messenger, not the message. The messenger, the person that's saying it, got tapped. So, whatever. But this is why. This is why. We got to really see it from that point of view. Okay, so how can we both, do better? Either side may think to themselves, no, they got to do more because, they're not good enough, or they got to do more because they expect too much. But either side, just you have to compromise, or else both y'all doomed. I mean, whatever. What happened there? All right, we got to hold up. Oh, great. Give it a second,
women
guys.
Are struggling, and why so many women are single.
Give it a second, guys. We're going to get it right.
Women are struggling, and why so many women are single. Something that perhaps more men need to take heed of. Meet your family and friends.
Why did it stop?
Email, let the late night text go unanswered. Keep him arm's distance on edge because he is not your man. When he's your official boyfriend and committed to you, you can text him all hours of the night.
Fair.
Number 2, introducing him to your friends and family. If this man has not asked you to be his girlfriend and is ready to be fully committed to you, why are you bringing him around your friends and family? And on that note, you shouldn't be going to meet his either. He does not get to know your inner circle or bring you around his until there is a defined commitment.
I love how this woman views it as some sort of a privilege, right? She doesn't even understand that the men in these quote unquote situationships, they probably don't want to meet your family and friends. You know, they probably don't want to be talking to you all of the time. I would argue that oftentimes the women probably struggle to get these behaviors out of the men in the first place. But the dudes aren't replying, they're taking too long to reply, they're not talking, they don't want to meet the family, they don't want to meet the friends, they just want to have their fun, and then they want to leave.
That's a privilege.
Before we go, so Taylor's probably talking from the point of view of this is a Chad, right? It's a Chad, just wants to have fun, whatever. She might be talking from a point of view of, I guess it's a Chad as well. Listen, because we could say that, you know, it might not be a complete Chad in her eyes, but you know, somebody that is, again, above average, right? So if that's the case, then it's how the two sets of genders, how they or what they view as, you know, above average, you know, i.e. a Chad, right? So the guys may see a Chad as somebody that's, you know, that's a guy that's basically, you're not normal. You're somebody that you have all boxes is just above average, whereas a woman may see that as somebody that's a Chad is a high level, all like, you know, like a 10 or something, like a 9 or 10, whereas, you know, guys just see that 7 is a Chad basically. So you know, that doesn't help, because what she said there wasn't actually crazy. It wasn't crazy, you know, meet this person, meet that person. That's trying to take someone seriously. What Taylor's saying as well, the guy you're saying you should meet your family, what makes you think this guy is not completely above your level to the point that he just not looking for that? But now can you see how the ladies will now say, oh, that just makes all other guys, they just, guys in general are just, F boys and all that stuff there. But, you know, the arguments on both sides, we can easily see how both of them, you know, how they're viable. You know, we definitely see how they're viable. You know, again, whether they're right or wrong, who's right, who's wrong, that's not what we're looking at. We're trying to break into the psyche and see, okay, why do you think this way? What is the reason you thinking this way? Why do you think, oh no, you know, she's just delusional? Or why is she thinking, these guys just are not serious, they don't want this, they don't want that, they just want this, and, you know, it's not conducive to a long-term relationship, which makes the majority of men just, you know, not husband material, and all this stuff, you know, that is being portrayed out there. This is why, you know, I guess we're in the situations we're in.
Number 3, buying him gifts. It was just Christmas, Valentine's Day is coming up. I better not see you spending money on a man that is not committed to you. Who knows what he's doing out there? And you're going to be the one buying him a gift? He can get gifts from his girlfriend, which you are not.
Ooh, imagine how the men feel, by the way. You know what I'm saying? It's like, imagine what that person is doing out there. Why would you get them a gift? That's a great question, guys. You know, you don't know what these men oftentimes don't know what the women have been doing. They don't know what they're currently doing. Why should the men buy the women gifts? I think this is a great point, guys. Something that perhaps more men need to take heed of. Why on earth are you getting gifts for women and you don't even know where the hell they've been, to be honest with you? Great point there, madam.
Gifts from
okay, so from that point of view, where we can't be, I was going to say intellectually, well, I mean, it is intellectually, but we can't be biologically dishonest here. We know that, you know, it's guys that chase the girl, right? So when it comes to initial attraction, we're trying to, you know, get her attention and, you know, get her to, you know, get him, he's trying to get her to like him and all that type of stuff there. So getting gifts and so forth is something that if a guy was to get a gift from a girl, well, usually he's gonna be like, oh dang, like, this is somebody that I respect, because it's not, it wouldn't be a normal thing, right? But whereas a girl, it's like, it's normal. So again, if we tap into her psyche and why she's saying what she's saying, well, because it's just, they're used to getting stuff. They're used to getting most stuff for free. And forget about gifts. Just like think about like, the chivalry. Like, guys doing this for them. Guys getting up for them. Guys picking them up, maybe to drop them off, like being their friends, and doing stuff that other people would, deem as you're in a friend zone, or you're doing too much, or don't be. If you really want to take stuff to the next level with her, don't be too available, don't be giving her too much stuff. But because they're so used to this, when they now find somebody that, oh, are we trying to see if we could work from a relationship standpoint? All right, well, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. We're not saying it's right. We're just saying this is inbuilt in the human experience, right? We're just living off the aftermath of what was built all these centuries, all from throughout millennia, right? This is how it's been set up. So when she's saying this, it's not crazy. We got to be understanding. Now, what men of today, modern men, will definitely say is that the fact that, the modern woman talks about independence and, working and so forth, well, this is where you handicap yourselves, because it's like, well, you work now, right? You telling me you're strong and independent. That still doesn't take away from the fact that chivalry is something that they want. Hence why you do not understand when men talk about you're delusional, or you're not you're not realistic. You don't live in reality, because you can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too. They'll now argue, well, men do that because you might have a girl, but then you're out there doing all this, doing that. You're having your cake and eating it too. You just keep going back and forth, where there needs to be a line drawn. There needs to almost be like a rule book for everybody. And that's something that maybe that needs to be put out. It might not be by addictive weirdos. Don't be surprised if the addictive weirdos, come out with a rule book for, all that. People now have to be like, all right, we all agree on this. Maybe, but there's a rule book that just needs to be just followed. That, okay, this is how things need to be. This is how things need to be adhered to. And if it's not, you can't complain. You can't complain. We all know it's not the cat is out the bag now. It's not a secret anymore, right? How the relationship game is. Everybody understands it now. Everybody's saying there's a great awakening of men realizing, the situation, and now they're changing and so forth. But this is where things are heading to right now, where we need to now have a rule book, and if things are not followed, well, you can't be surprised if you don't get the things you're looking for. Let's continue.
His girlfriend, which you are not. This is not to say that you shouldn't have a date on Valentine's Day, or hang out together, or do an activity, but do not spend your hard-earned money on a man who is not committed to you. And number 4, getting in fights. Why are you getting in fights with a man who's not your man? Telling him off, getting your feelings hurt, being pissed off about something he did. Fights happen in a relationship because you're fighting for your relationship. If this is just a hookup situation, what are you fighting for? Just don't respond. Walk away. Remind him that he can't be pissed either, because you're not his girlfriend. Do not waste your breath, energy, and emotions on fighting with a man who's not your man.
Yeah, see, by the way, so the reason why so many of these women fight with these dudes and get all pissy and upset and everything is because they're trying to get relationships out of the man, and the man doesn't want to have one. That's where all of these disagreements come from, is the men don't want to commit to you. You see what I'm saying? And also, this is a fantastic way to get men not to commit to you, right? Is to, let's just say some dude is having a situationship with you, is just hooking up with you, right? And then you go out there and you hook up with a bunch of guys, and he's like, yeah, I don't like that, I'm going to stop seeing you. And then the woman turns around and says, yeah, well, you can't be mad. I mean, true, the guy can't be mad, but guess what? He's probably just going to ditch you. You know what I'm saying? Like, women treat it like it's some sort of gotcha moment. You're not allowed to be pissed off, see? And then the dude will be like, okay, no problem, and he'll just leave. These women vastly overestimate their own value to men. They really do. But don't worry, guys. She's really out here putting her foot down when it comes to these chads, right? When it comes to these bad boys. I find this funny that women think it's some sort of like epic chess maneuver, right? They're out here playing chess and you're playing checkers because they refuse to talk to the men who they're just hooking up with casually after 11 p.m. Like, these are not boundaries, okay? These are still women who have absolutely no boundaries, who are giving their body to men who don't want them. Let's continue into the next clip here. I remember actually seeing a little bit of this one before I turned on the recording. This one is really damn stupid, so check this out.
So Taylor just took the thought out of my brain. I was just about to say that, yeah, the reason why they're probably arguing in the first place is because, you know, they're fighting to get a relationship from these guys. And maybe I misunderstood, you know, the whole premise basically, which was just a situationship. That's what I heard her say, which is, you know, if that's the case, then everything you're saying doesn't really hold any weight. If you're dating for I was gonna say dating to marry, but it's not always the case. But if you're dating for a relationship, let's say, right, that's what you're looking for, where all these things that she said wasn't crazy. It's not crazy at all. And if we're being honest, right, this is what I'm saying. We need to have balance. Let's be honest with ourselves. A woman that's seeing a guy, he's already qualified himself, meaning any logical person will know she's definitely considering him as a potential suitor. We all know this. Now, whether we want them to force, you know, not force, but basically you realize that, okay, you're with me for a reason. I've ticked a lot of boxes. There's not many men even if you are seeing other guys, right? There can't be many. Why? Because are you easy? Sorry, guys. Even if you are seeing other guys, are you easy? Are you easy? Because if you're not easy, then clearly I'm one of the potential guys that you really see something with, right? So as a result, if she's in that situation and she's deep some quality there, and maybe there's other little things here missing that's maybe not making her, you know, she's not all the way settled on the fact that, yeah, I want to like be here fully. Fair enough, right? But the fact that she's in that situation, the fact that she's in the situationship alone should let the guy know, yeah, this could be something. So, you know, whether it's on him or her to do what they got, there's gonna be a person that's gonna be the more intimate or the more physical, you know, chasing the other one more. There's always gonna be an imbalance basically. But once there's an understanding, well, that's where, you know, things just start to work, and it can become long term. You see, so to really cover and summarize, right, what everything that she was saying, it wasn't crazy. And I think whether she wanted to admit it or not, though she's saying, oh, it's just a situationship or it's just someone just seeing just casually, well, that's really never the case, right? We gotta be serious here, and we gotta be, you know, let's just live in reality. A lot of times if a woman is seen with a guy, or she's decided to, you know, get into a situation with the guy, it's because she sees potential there, right? So it's never just something you can just be like, oh yeah, and I'm gonna just not go the extra mile. You know, if the guy says, yo, I want you to meet my peoples, she's likely gonna go because she's like, yeah, I do see him in that way. That's the reason why I'm giving myself to you physically. So that there's certain things that are already understood. So they don't really need to be said, man. You know, and this is where we need to always always tap into biology. Don't ever lose the fact that we are creatures of biology. We are creatures of biology. We cannot ever ignore that. It cannot be ignored. And I think that happens a lot. But let's keep going on this next one, because Taylor just said this is something that's just ridiculous.
Toxic thing my guy friend said to me this week is that everyone is low maintenance if you ignore them. I was scrolling through his phone, and when I tell you this man is probably texting at least 45 different girls a week, I'm not exaggerating. Think a boy in sales, think a boy who has incredible relationship management skills. Like, he should be able to, and probably with the right frat bro in the right interview setting, be able to bring up how he manages this incredibly diverse roster. It's not even just like your varsity roster. I'm talking like varsity, JV, and the bench for both. Honestly, also like a thirds team out of like these messages.
Okay, so I don't know why on earth this woman is going through this dude's phone, by the way. So she says that this guy is a friend. I mean, I think we're missing a lot of context here, to be honest with you. Whenever women say, oh, it's a guy friend, it's either some simp orbiter or it's a dude who she's hooked up with before. My money is on dude that she's hooked up with before, considering this guy can also get a bunch of other women, and she's wanting to look through his phone in the first place, right? Again, I find this really funny because women will complain about this behavior from men, okay? Which they might actually have a valid complaint to make, you know? It's so ridiculous that these guys at the top, you know, they're all texting a whole bunch of different women at the same time. But here's the thing. Number one, women do this too, even the average ones. And number two, this never stops the women from chasing these men. Oh, he's such a bad boy. He's such a player. He talks to so many different women. I'm going to stop talking to him now, said no woman ever.
And I asked,
Yeah, I was gonna concur on that, Taylor. That her actions, this one is it's a slam dunk itself because her actions is not helping. Like if he's doing this, and you know 45 is a lot basically. So shouldn't you just naturally turn away? Do you don't have it in you? Is there something that's keeping you there? You know, and this is again when we always tie the stuff into biology, it just makes it even more, you know, come across like it's insane what's happening. But these people can't help themselves. It's the same way a guy would see, you know, a hot, you know, like a hot girl. She's hot as hell, and you know he knows, okay, apparently she's been with a few of my guys, whatever. So I shouldn't really want to get physical with her, but I can't control myself. Like I still want to get physical with her. It's the same way they probably see it as, I don't want to like this guy, but I want to do the right thing. I want to just turn away because I never saw myself as that type of girl. But they don't really, it's like they're not understanding their biology. Like, why am I liking this? Well, because you think you can turn off, you know, like who you are, what you are, you know, how you've been designed is just crazy, you know, it's crazy. You should really walk away from this, but hopefully you see how the opposite sex now struggles with the whole, oh, guys are dogs, they just want one thing. Now you can see it from your end, where it's like, man, am I a I don't want to use the word dog, but I don't know what else to use, that I can't like step away, like if I feel like I'm manic, like I can't control myself. Like, does that make me what they are? You gotta, again, we're not saying one is right and one is wrong. We're just see it from the both ends. See how this is, like, you can't keep ignoring these type of things and thinking to yourself, I'm gonna keep blaming the other side. On both ends, right? On both ends. So it's just, you know, this one here is quite crazy.
him how he manages to see all of these people and how he manages to like keep people going, because some of them don't even live in New York. And he's like, well, everyone is low maintenance if you just ignore them. It's not that hard to like have a relationship with someone if you just don't reply. This is your sign to take how someone treats you over text seriously and as an indication of how you're going to be treated in real life, because clearly men are thinking about it that way too. And if you were wondering how he manages someone from out of town versus someone from in town, he takes priority of the girls from out of town over the girls who are from in town. Because
okay, I have no interest. I love how she mentions this, like anyone has any degree of interest in this whatsoever. If you're concerned about how he manages the girls in town to out of town, I don't care. Let me just stop you there. So this dude, she tries to say this is all men, by the way. You know, this is how men look at women. It's like, no, this is what a very small percentage of dudes do when they have a crap load of options on dating applications. That's really what it boils down to. If anything, women invented this whole talking to multiple people at the same time thing, to be honest. I find it funny, guys, when the vast majority of women engage in a behavior and then they see a small percentage of men engaging in that same behavior, and they're like, number one, this is terrible, and number two, all men are doing this. It's completely insane to me.
He takes priority of the girls from out of town over the girls who are from in town because he knows that if he doesn't make time for them that week, they're gone for like a skip month.
So I think she got this mixed up. I think she's referring to how the guy will prioritize the women in town because they're in town at any given point in time. But I think we see her point. She's going through her quote unquote friend's phone. She's seeing how he talks to a lot of women. And obviously she's not very happy about this, guys, because she's a unique snowflake. Let's continue to the next one. This woman was from a recent video, guys. I think she was talking about like just complete nonsense that made absolutely no sense, you know, like manifesting type. Think manifesting cringe. That's what we're about to get into. Let's jump in.
Don't believe in coincidences. So if you're seeing this video before Valentine's Day, it is a sign that you are about to be in your dream relationship.
I guarantee you it's not, especially for the women who are watching this TikTok. Oh, hell no, they're doomed.
Do this method if you are actually ready to manifest your exact dream person very soon. It is my doorstep method. Right now, I want you to really think about who it is you want to call in. How successful are they? How rich are they? What does their body look like?
I love how the first three things, I find it so funny, man, how like men, we get called superficial. Oh, a woman has to be super pretty, you know, she has to look her best at all times because that's what men care about and that's how men rank you and all of this sort of stuff. And check this out, whenever this woman is describing like women's men, like that they're going to be picturing in their mind their dream man, check it out. First thing, how successful are they? Second thing, how rich are they? And third thing, what does their body look like? Hilarious, right? But don't worry, guys. Women just want the nice man. Get out of here.
What does their daily routine look like? What do they wear? What does their day-to-day routine look like? Think of your literal dream person.
We just finished with that. We don't even mention personality. We don't mention morals. We don't mention beliefs. Okay, we don't mention the type of man he actually is, what his character is. None of these, we don't mention his temperament, right? Whether he's nice or not. None of these things are mentioned. Coincidence, guys? I don't think so.
Like, don't hold back here.
If we're gonna be fair as well in that assessment, Taylor, we gotta say that this woman appears younger. I'm not saying that older ladies, older women do not look for these things that she's saying, but they're a bit more, you know, they're looking a bit more deeper than these things, and that's because they've been through certain stuff and realized, oh snap, I need maybe this stuff that I didn't really think about because they've now experienced certain stuff. So yeah, like, are we surprised that somebody of I guess within this appearing of a certain age range, right, which is the younger age range, thinks this way? Nah. Do you the opposite, you know, which is the opposite gender, right? They think the same way, you know, guys of her age think the same way. They all do. Like, this, it's very rare to find somebody that young to be very level-headed and not thinking this way. So it's, yeah, I mean, there's not much to argue from that. We can't use her as an example to say, oh, and women usually say this, usually say that. She's just like a lot that will think of these things. Then naturally personality falls under all these stuff. Like you said, listen, I'm not gonna say you're right or you're wrong, right? We definitely hear this, where they will say personality is important and so forth, but everything she just mentioned was, yeah, all superficial stuff. So it's not something that they can deny. Unfortunately, it's just something that she's she's exposed what it really is, but it's not a surprise. We know.
And now I want you to imagine that this person just showed up at your doorstep. Would you feel worthy of them? Would you feel like you are an energetic match for this person?
I don't know what an energetic match is, but okay.
Would you feel like you are exactly what this person is desiring? If you said no, It is time to take care of you.
Okay, so let's just pause it here. This is actually, you know what, guys, credit to this woman. She asked a good question here, okay? these highly attractive, successful men with the great bodies, okay, would these men desire the average woman? That's a great question to ask. Would they desire the woman who wants him? Fantastic question. The answer is usually no, which is why the women can't lock down these men in the first place, even after they might get a hookup or two out of them. So the answer to that question is clearly no. Here's where women go wrong, though, guys, is they think, well, Chad won't commit to me, right? This highly successful, highly attractive man won't commit to me. What I need to do in order to get commitment from this man is I need to focus on myself, I need to build up my career, and I need to gain life experience and money. And the thing is, guys, is these women fail to realize that they don't care. They actually go out there, excuse me, the men don't care. They go out there and they try and collect these attributes and these accolades that they value in men. But it doesn't help them get commitment from men, obviously, because we don't care. You know, like, guys, how many times do you see women, right? They're like 35 and they're like, okay, I'm ready for a great man now. I've got a solid career. I know what I bring to the table. And all the men are just sitting there like, hey, we don't care what career you have. We don't care about your degrees. Like, it's great that you have them, sure. Like, good for you and everything. Go out there, do whatever it is that you've got to do. But men actually don't care in the context of a romantic relationship. And women really screw this up because they ask themselves, hey, you know, would this man desire me? The answer is no. And then they go out there and they just work on the complete wrong things. It's hilarious.
Your doorstep.
So I think just to give my 2 cents on this, I think although he's completely right in terms of what she said, I'm not sure if Taylor realized he's about to pivot. The last thing she said was, she said, then it's time to take care of yourself. She didn't say it's time to look in the mirror. So it's two different things. So yes, I think everything she's saying makes absolute sense. But now she's saying take care of yourself, almost like as if to insinuate, not only do you need to improve yourself, but you need to, it's not the full accountability isn't on you. That's how I'm taking this. But let's continue and see, you know, how she explains this.
Would you feel worthy of them? Would you feel like you are an energetic match for this person? Would you feel like you are exactly what this person is desiring? If you said no, it is time to take care of you. It is time to become the hottest and...
Okay. You've already lost me.
So this is where I was trying to, she said take care of you. Now, that could have been, you know, well, that doesn't even matter. In this instance, what she's saying is you got to become almost like that, the same level, the same caliber of the guy, when that's not what he cares about. But then again, you got to ask, why do they think this way? Why is he thinking this way? Who's giving them this idea, right? Who's giving them this notion that this is what you got to do to attract the right man? Like, would you not think that he would want you to just, I don't know, be nice, be welcoming? You know, do you not think that he doesn't mind that you're not a finished product? You know, this is the question you got to ask. Why are you thinking this way? Why do you think you got to do all of this stuff as well? You got to be, you know, a business owner. You got to have money in the bank, whatever. This appears where this is going, because she's first started with hottest. Nah, you ain't really gotta be if you understood the the other side, you would probably know that you ain't gotta be the hottest, you know. But you know, this is how they would imagine stuff, because maybe they've not been given the right, you know, information towards it. And some people say, well, they're getting it right now and they still not wanting to use it. So it is what it is.
Women seem to think, right, that locking down the top tier man is purely based on how you look. Let me just say this, guys. There are so many women out there who, you know, they might be highly attractive, but they cannot for the life of them lock down a man. Okay, a lot of the times it's not actually women's looks really that prevent them from getting a man. you know, you might be not modest enough, sure, but
I'm gonna forward this because I know what.
Attract mirrors of ourselves. You will not attract that person until you feel not only worthy of them,
so this is
but you feel like they're lucky to be in your presence.
So you see where she said where it's going. She said you need to take care of you. That already let me know that this is probably going another way. You probably gave her kudos too early. I already knew that it's probably gonna go that way, but the thing about it is this one again is very, very hard to, because trying to be balanced here is very hard to be balanced with someone that thinks this way, because now you gotta let them know what is, you know. And but at the same time, I mean, is it bad to improve yourself? No, right? But is it productive to do that when you're trying to find a partner? Maybe, you know, people want different things, but the usual is the answer will be nah. You gotta be hot. You gotta, you know, be a mirror. Nah, you gotta be a match. It's not a mirror. You gotta be a match, and a match is something that it's like a puzzle piece. It just fits together. It's not a mirror. A mirror is, you know, you seeing someone that's exactly, you know, like you from, yeah. It's gonna be clash. There's gonna be a clash. The mirror's gonna break, basically.
Yeah, guys, see, now we're getting a little bit lost in the sauce, right?
So I want you now to take out a pen and paper and write down what this next level version of you looks like and how you can commit to become a person, but when you're on the journey to become them, which can be as soon as this week, next week, this month, and follow for more.
Holy hell. So we started off kind of strong there.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm saying? Be something that the men desire, but then we just get completely lost in this.
Of course, at the end of how she was presenting it, but at the same time, it's I mean, this is just, there's nothing more to say other than this one was just a course selling, you know, thing.
We talk about trying to maximize how attractive we are. I've said this before, guys, but like, it's just the wrong way to approach it. It really is. You might have a really attractive woman out there, but to be honest with you guys, a lot of them, they're terrible people, and that's why they can't get relationships out of dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like, a dude would happily take a woman who's perhaps not, you know, not top looks, she's going to absolutely win out over a woman who's a complete pain in your ass, who might actually be more attractive physically. You see what I'm saying? Men, like, the be all end all isn't how physically attractive you are. Now, that being said, obviously, do your best to be healthy, don't be overweight and so on, if anything, so that you actually extend your life might be a smart move. But men don't care as much as women might think. Let's continue.
I'm about to, just before you continue, Tay, I'm about to say that this woman, what she's about to say, I actually agree with this. Ladies, your looks are an investment. Yeah, it is an investment, especially from the guy's point of view. Like, he's invested in that. But obviously now, because that's the initial, but then the other stuff have to follow. But this, what she's about to say, it is an investment, right? Or it's hard to say it's an investment, because investment, you're gonna want that thing to grow, right? So maybe not. You know, I'm gonna correct myself and maybe say not, because investment is something, you know, where you get this thing and you're gonna wanna water it, you know, ensure the seeds grow, basically. And that's more so a person's compatibility to you is what you're gonna want to grow, to nurture. Not necessarily their looks, but definitely it is what it's what attracts the guy. 1000% is that right there. So that's good that I did that, because it makes me think. I'm trying to think, why would you say that? Why would you put that statement there? But that's probably because maybe they've not thought of it. They've not questioned themselves, like I just did my own self. Question yourselves and be like, oh, is this right? Have I really thought this to another level? You know, and this is stuff they probably don't know, and we can't expect them to know. Why? Because they ain't guys. They should go and question and maybe ask, you know, the guys in their family, but maybe they haven't asked did that. And at the same time, maybe they did, and they just got terrible advice, because we all know a lot of people are saying this. Like, a lot of guys nowadays are, you know, not the typical guys, you know, of like yesteryear. So are we surprised they can't find the person to give them that? And when they do find the person that is doing that, they just are combative towards them, don't want to agree. I'm not trying to, skirt accountability. They got to take this accountability. They got to eat that humble pie. You are accountable for yourselves, right? But we got to have, there's got to be a balance, right? If we going to be leaders and all that stuff, we got to let them know this is what it is. And we've now told you, do with that information what you will.
Into the next clip here. Ladies, your looks are an investment. All right, let's hear it.
Say, woman, your looks are an investment for the opportunities that come your way, the people that you attract in this lifetime, the things that you want to do, and so much more. Time working on your physical health is never a waste of time. It's an investment.
I mean, I can kind of get behind.
Yeah, I was going to say that. From a guy's point of view is what I explained. From a woman's point of view, 1000% it's an investment. But you need to understand, though you're investing in that, don't make that the thing that is the seed you're watering. It's just going to be something that you're always doing, every other day, making sure that you maintain that. But it's not something that you invest in it. Let me invest in my looks. Like, let me go and do this and, get my hair done or go and get, I don't know, surgeries or whatever the case may be. You don't need none of that. What you need to invest in is making sure that you're compatible with your other half, whoever that is. You're compatible by, okay, this is what this person likes. Let me make sure that I, do stuff so, so we're not at odds, that, I do stuff that's going to make them happy, about me like I am of them, right? It's a give and take, basically. So, you see, from their point of view, we got to understand why she's saying it, what she's talking about and what she's saying. And it's actually right, But it's right from a dating market standpoint. When you got a lot of guys watching you, whatever, it definitely is going to be a lot of guys, and they're going to see she looks good, she look good, fantastic. But that one guy that is now your guy, that's not enough. That's not the investment. You got to understand that is not the investment, So.
And that I don't like how abrasive this woman is, but that I can't deny it. She does make a bit of sense here. Work on being healthy, take care of your appearance.
Makeup is never a waste of time. It's an investment.
All right, now I'm starting to disagree a little bit. Do we really need to have makeup and hair on all the time? And you know what I mean? Do we really have to do this crap where we just permanently have stuff on our face all the time? I don't know.
Losing 20 pounds, okay? I was 20 pounds heavier like a few months ago. The type of treatment that my heavier self got versus the type of treatment that I'm getting now is literally day and night.
It's treatment from other guys, then, well, who cares? But if it's treatment from the person you're with, that's important. Because if your person you're with actually, well, yes, I would like, to be more, this, just how you ask stuff of them, they now ask stuff of you. Then that makes sense, right? But if it's just random people, well, who cares, right? You're not like, are you doing this for attention, or are you doing this for a long-term connection with somebody?
To treat you differently based on how you look. Men understand this very well from a young age. Women probably understand this as well. I actually have the opinion, guys, that I think women's harshest critics are actually just other women. You know what I'm saying? Channel guys quite a lot.
Let's keep
women.
Going.
You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
20 pounds, okay? I was 20 pounds heavier like a few months ago. The type of treatment that my heavier self got versus the type of treatment that I'm getting now is literally day and night.
From
the type of opportunities that have come my way now than they did before.
There you go. This is what I'm saying. So it's opportunities means it's just a lot of people, and that's not what you're doing. Is you're using your looks to attract, but does your looks retain? That's what investment is, right? Retain something. In order to retain something, have it around, right? You got to keep watering that thing, right? The looks, essentially, you just want to it brings the person in. Well, whatever the opportunity, it brings the opportunity in. But looks are never something that you can use, right, to keep something around. So when you say it's an investment, it's one of the more it's one of the more cheaper investments, if it is an investment at all. Right, but it's essentially a gateway. It's essentially a gateway.
Day and night. So please don't ever think that all this time that
you are spending on yourself is a waste of time, because over time it will pay off. Your looks as a woman are an investment. It's an investment for the type of partner that you attract. It's a type of investment for the types of friends that you attract. The type of investment.
This woman's saying that she gets night and day opportunities and things like this, and she's talking about relationships as well thrown in here. I mean, where's the husband then? Typically is my question. I don't know if this woman's married or not. I would wager not, to be honest with you.
That's what I'm saying.
But, I hear a lot of women say this stuff like, oh, my dating life has improved significantly. The quality of the men that I'm dating has gone up significantly. And I'm like, okay, this is fantastic for you. This sounds great. But where exactly is your man? Where exactly is your long-term relationship? Where exactly is your marriage? Now, if this woman is married, right, good for her. I hope it lasts. Statistically, they don't. But yeah, I'm color me a little bit skeptical, to be honest.
So remember, you are feeling your best internally. When you are at a place when you just love the way that you look, you are able to just show up for yourself 100 times more than the person that you were a couple months ago, a couple years ago, when maybe you just weren't taking care of yourself.
So why is she thinking this way? I will say she's thinking this way because just life is showing her, like, she's doing something and life is giving her a response, and she's thinking, okay, this is what it is, right? When, again, maybe it might be, I'm not saying that's what it is, but it might be a surface level type thinking where maybe you have to, look probably a bit deeper, look underneath the surface and realize, okay, let me see others that have now used their looks and now they're in a situation. Let me talk to them. How did you keep it? How did you maintain it? Then they'll explain, how they did that. But if she's trying to put it this way, she's trying to use this because she used the word investment, right? And if we really tap into that whole, aspect of investment, like finances, right? Yeah, or financials, right? To an extent, right? Investment. What we will say is a guy. If your looks are an investment, somebody has to invest in you, right? Who's an investor? The guy that's investing in you. Do you think he's investing in your looks? Like, now you're gonna say, I guess she's gonna say, nah, it's not the guy that's the investor, that she's investing in her looks. Okay, no problem. Let's use you, even though it should be the guy, but let's use you because it's not you that's gonna, use up the investment, right? It's not gonna be you. It's gonna be somebody else. It's gonna be wanting to use that investment. So no problem. Let's say you are the investor. If you're investing in your looks, and your looks it's just naturally, right, as an investment, it's just gonna go down. This is not someone trying to be wrong or right. We're just trying to not talk normally now, right? From a dating market standpoint, if you invest in your looks only go one way, right? And that's for men and women usually, right? Men can stave it off for a bit longer if they keep, in shape, whatever, but everything else needs to be in place for a man to, really be able to say, okay, my looks are maintained. And these are stuff that are, non-physicals, right? Like, the money, he's a status and all that stuff there, right, is what would help his looks. But if they were to remove those stuff, they might impact his looks not as much. Same for women right now. You gotta look at your looks a bit. All right, if you're using that in investment, well, if looks go down, that's a bad investment. That is a bad investment, right? So your looks more so like, you should see your looks as like a trading asset, right? It's a trading asset. You trade with it. You don't invest in it. It's just, okay, let me use it to trade. Okay, get this, get that, cool, no problem. Now, the stuff you should be investing in is your, ability to understand your partner, right? Be one with your partner. Make sure that you're compatible. See what the stuff they're missing in their lives. Fill in that area. You're gonna become an asset, right? And invest. You see how I'm saying? You're going to become an asset to who? Not to yourself, to the other person, because you're calling your looks an investment as if you're the investor. No, it's somebody else that's going to invest in you, and they're going to want an asset that they can invest in long term. And an investment is something that's long term. They're not going to invest in your looks long term because you and the person knows your looks is not an investment for a long term, right? Looks are going to go down. It's a bad investment to invest in something like that. Imagine he's now, okay, I want to keep her looking good because she's starting to change. She's getting older. Here you go, go and get some surgery, right? That usually that doesn't work, man. That's a bad investment all around. So the guy and yourself should not see looks as an investment, but you see looks as a asset that you trade. And trading, for those that don't know, it's something that's short term, right? Maybe you trade something for. Sometimes some people will trade something for, like, some people swing trade, some people just long term trades. Some people long term, not that long basically, but it could be a few days, right? Well, I think that's swing trading, to be fair. I'm not an expert, but when you look into when you're looking at it from that perspective, right, that's what it is right there, where you can either trade or you invest, right? And some people trade in different ways, and some people do swing trades, which is trades that can last for maybe a few days, Then some people are day traders, right? They just do it for a day. Some people even shorter intervals, right? Some people are just doing it for, okay, let me see how this is, like, let me see how this asset is behaving. Let me see how this stock is behaving. All right, I'm gonna get in and get out quickly, whatever. That could be hours, right? But there's different ways. So the looks is not, we'll say, it's not a long-term investment you should be investing in. But listen, it's up to you, man. We see why you use that and the reason you wanted to use that in that instance, but it just didn't work all the way because of the niche in which you're trying to use it in just doesn't really make sense.
You know what? I can get behind what this woman says. Take care of your physical health, guys. Lose your weight and things like this. Better opportunities will be presented to you. My question is, how exactly are those opportunities actually going? Because usually when women say, oh, I get better dating opportunities, they're still perpetually single and still no man wants to date them. You know what I'm saying? But I'm never against someone losing weight and actually taking care of their health. I think that's a great thing. Let's continue on to the next clip here.
We won't do that, Taylor. We're gonna stop there because it's been quite it's a longer video for us, but we just wanted to just offer up a different perspective, for both sides, just to make it very clear that there has to be an understanding, or else we're not gonna get anywhere ever. It's always gonna be a versus when it shouldn't. We can't be doing a versus like forever. We gotta now team up, like, one way or another. So that's what that is right there, man. Hopefully people enjoyed it. What did y'all think? Did y'all agree with the stuff that we said? Male, females, men, women. Give us your take on this, man. Like, who did y'all agree with the most? Just comment, like, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. And we signing out, man. It's the Addicted Weirdos. It's your bear, Chris.